I mean, it's just superhuman, right? I mean, we keep saying it. We call him 360. We should upgrade him to 720 because I think he can hit it twice around that circle. From superhuman, he should be super. I don't even know. I've run out of adjectives. I've run out of superlatives. What do you say about the legend, the phenomena that is AB de Villiers? Well, we'll find a few words for him, I promise, and we'll find a fair few for Glenn Maxwell as well, because that's a rare phenomenon. There hasn't been too many good words said about Glenn Maxwell, the IPL player, in the last few seasons, but boy, he's giving us a lot of reasons to pull out those superlatives this year. Hello and welcome. You're watching Cricbuzz Live in association with our fantasy partner, My 11 Circle. I'm Gaurav Kapur. With me, Michael Vaughan and Joy Bhattacharjya. And the reason why we're waxing eloquent on these two Bangalore players is because of what they've done to Kolkata. Remember, Kolkata had them pretty much on the mat. 2 overs, 9 for the loss of 2 wickets. Virat Kohli gone, Rajat Patidar gone. And Glenn Maxwell then plays 78 of 49 in the face of that. Creating that recovery with Devdutt Padikkal, who was pretty solid on the other end. And then AB de Villiers using that as a springboard to launch his 76 of 34. Well, the Kolkata bowlers, well, I think they got a crick in the neck from watching the ball sail over so much. Joy, since you are the most educated and the most academic amongst us, you seem to have a lot of books behind you more than Michael's. Any adjectives, any superlatives, any prose or poetry you'd like to use?
I mean, the only word I can think about is supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, because that's at least large enough to encompass what this man has done today. Because, I mean, if you think about it, the most important thing is he's absolutely overshadowed Maxwell's innings. I mean, you saw that Maxwell innings, you thought it was a modern classic. Guy comes in at 9 for 2, does what he does. And then ABD over the last 5-6 overs does so much that you begin to wonder there was somebody batting before him, was there, And it's just absolutely amazing cricket. There's that one shot where there's that full toss that comes at his body. He moves away. He's still got both feet planted on the ground. And he places it past the keeper. I have not seen a batsman react like that. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, Michael, they say that AB de Villiers has a shot for every delivery. I'd like to change that. I think he has 2 shots for every delivery and he consistently makes the right decision.
Yeah, I'd like to change that. I reckon he has 3 for every delivery. I'd like to raise you with that one. No, that is a marker for me. The RCB team look such a better balanced team this year with all the combinations. The Glenn Maxwell show in amongst Virat. Virat's not even had to fire yet. He's not even had to do anything.
Yeah.
And yet the RCB team just look like they've got these 3 in Virat, Glenn Maxwell, AB de Villiers. And you have to say on every occasion, at least one of them's going to show up. Today, 2 of them showed up, and that's why they've got such a dominant score. I don't know how you defend it, because when you get players like Maxwell and ABD just going, you basically miss your areas by a millimetre, and it will be going into the sky. That's how good these players are. Brilliant batting. I think it also exposed KKR in the bowling. I think the fact that Chakravarti had to get taken out of the attack because Owen wanted to kind of save him for those middle overs, those kind of last few overs, almost exposed the fact that they don't have enough in depth, that they couldn't risk him bowling 4 in the first 9 or 10 overs just in case. And that tells me that the KKR team's bowling is just a little bit of a concern. I think it was exposed this afternoon.
We saw this the other day, Joy, didn't we? With Chennai, Deepak Chahar on song. I think MS bowled him 3 in his opening spell, didn't he? I was just really surprised that didn't happen with Varun today.
Yeah, two things that stood out for me. One is that not given Varun that extra over when Maxwell was early and vulnerable.
Yeah.
Because, Maxwell's going to take chances. I would have given him a second. And, for whatever he was thinking at that point in time, he needed to have a second. The second was leaving it for so late or not trusting Andre Russell with 3 so that you were left that you had to bowl Shakib or Harbhajan in the 19th. And it went for 18 overs. It went for 18 overs because by that time, a rampaging, this guy's already up there. You have already AB de Villiers in form, and now you have nowhere to go because you have to bowl either Shakib or Harbhajan you needed to give that extra over to. And it just went very badly for them. So here's something. I mean, why didn't they bring on, or did they not trust Andre Russell to come on a bit earlier? So there are a few things out there. Secondly, can they afford to? Right now, Harbhajan and Shakib, both of them are neither giving them anything with the bat nor with the ball. both of them look as if KKR doesn't want to complete their quota. So there's a problem out there where they're trying to figure out what they're going to do with these two guys. But I don't think from this match on it's going to be tenable that both these guys play in the 11.
So here's one point to that. I mean, Harbhajan definitely in his power play overs is giving you a little more than Shakib, because Shakib in the power play overs got hammered today as well, right? But Michael, the flip side of that is that while this strategy is innovative and you're bowling spinners in the power play and you're only bowling spinners in the power play, you're also blunting one of your very important weapons, which is Pat Cummins with the new ball, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Pat Cummins has gone for such a big figure, but he's got the easiest overs. He's bowling pretty much from 6 to 15.
Yeah.
In the overs, the team are just settling in and they're quite happy to knock it around at stages. Surely you want Pat Cummins setting the tone, finishing the tone. He's that good a bowler, and he's the kind of bowler that could knock 2 or 3 early wickets if he gets it right. I don't think Owen got it right today. He'll never admit to that because he's super cool and he'd just say, no, that's the game. But, his tactics were a little bit iffy, but I understand it because he's worried. And I'll say Andre Russell, if they're going to rely on Russell to be bowling at the end consistent. I know he had a bit of fortune. He did well in the first game, but, he consistently bowls too many full tosses at the end. When he's trying to get those Yorkers in, he bowls so many full low balls. Yeah, you've still got to strike them, but in this kind of era, you only have to miss by an inch and it's going out the ground. And I just don't think he's the consistent death bowler to take KKR into those kind of knockout stages. They're going to have to change that up.
And with AB de Villiers as well, even if you miss by, even if you're completely accurate, he still perhaps is going to hit you for a 6. So it's quite a task. You really got to be up for it. And I guess the Kolkata bowlers were not. So here's the thing. They had them in the power play. And I guess that's why we're so exasperated as we were in the com box and we are right now, where if you have your foot on the jugular, you've got to go in for the kill, which Kolkata didn't do today. By the time he came back, Varun, well, I mean, the tone was set. You had Maxwell and AB de Villiers in form. 2 good things are happening this time for Bangalore, Joy. One is, personally, for Glenn Maxwell, the good thing. So I'll tell you, the good things are happening for Glenn Maxwell is that he's got AB de Villiers playing after him, as he said, right? He's confident. The team is giving him responsibility at number 4 and saying, all right, take your time and get set. And we're putting you in at 9 for 2 and you know what to do. Trust you do it. Secondly, their problem has always been that they've kind of had just 2 shoulders that are carrying the weight, which is Virat Kohli and AB de Villiers. They've always wanted somebody who can kind of be a strong support in the middle that turns them into a tripod, right? And that's what has happened, which means that now if Virat fails, don't worry. We're going to set it up for AB and then AB can do this.
No, absolutely. I think they did. At one time, they had this right. If you remember 2016, that's the time they had that triumvirate. There was Gale still in form. There was Gale, Virat and AB. And they were all playing with freedom. Virat especially because he had this monster season because he had so much support behind him. Okay. That time, their problem was their bowling was not sorted out. Yeah. Now, I think they've gone back to the triumvirate. They now have those 3 gun batsmen in the top 6. They have 3 gun batsmen. Now, the question is, can their bowling give them the wickets? So one plus point is, which is a plus point which you think, that they're not playing on home ground. They're not playing with Chinnaswamy. So their bowlers might have a little bit more confidence than they would have if they were playing on Chinnaswamy, where every ball tends to get teed off.
Yeah, actually, that's a big thing for them because Bangalore, the only team with a negative win record, so it's less than 50% for them in Chinnaswamy. So, yeah, I think they're happy that it's happening just anywhere except just do it anywhere. Just do it on the road in Sharjah. We're happy with that. Just don't make us go to Chinnaswamy. All right, for Kolkata, is there a chance, Michael? I mean, it's 205 in Chennai. We know what Chennai famously does in the chase, right? It's not even using words anymore. It's like
no, I fear for KKR because I think Mohammad Siraj is going to charge in. He's going to be obviously trying to get some kind of movement. He'll whack that pitch hard, and when you're scoring at over 10s from ball 1, it's so hard. And the pitch, as much as AB de Villiers and Glenn Maxwell made it look like a road, I don't think it is. I don't think it's anywhere near the score that they got. Par's probably around 145, 150. But they'll have a go. It's an Owen Morgan team, and they'll certainly believe they can get close to this, if not get over the line. But it could get a bit messy for KKR.
Or on the flip side, Joy, you think that 204 means, well, Nothing to lose at all. Full tilt from ball one.
Full tilt from ball one. At least one person will be very clear about how he plays. That's Andre Russell. So, okay, fine. This one I don't need to think about. I have to go out there and back it. Whenever I get in, I'll have to go out there and back it. I think that is the clarity. But yeah, early wickets are the key. If they don't lose early wickets and these guys can keep blazing, because see, this is the kind of total where you'll go hard. And if you have to look at the seam attack or the attack that these people have, it's not the most experienced attack. You have Kylie Jamieson, you have Siraj, okay, you have Shahbaz Ahmed. These are young guys, except for Chahal, who's relatively steady, old hand.
Show the team. Yeah. Bangalore team. Yeah.
Washington Sundar is also a pretty young guy. So really you're looking at Harshal Patel. This is not the most experienced bowling attack, nor do they have that one gun bowler like Patrick Cummins. That Patrick Cummins over actually to Glenn Maxwell was a great over. Whenever he bowled it and he finally got it. That ability to be able to keep it. So if these guys go for runs, who is the bowler that Virat turns around, looks at and tosses the ball to? Chahal is the only one that he looks on like that. So it's important that Chahal bowls well. It's important that Siraj gets wickets up front.
The good thing for Kolkata, though, is that in the 2 games they've played so far, they've not lost a wicket in the power play. So the openers have been doing well. Shubman Gill is kind of looks solid. Hasn't got that many runs. But Nitish Rana, Michael, has looked positively destructive in the 2 innings he's played so far. Yeah,
he's been in great form. He's played with great control, power, finesse, and he'll have to do it again tonight. This afternoon, you feel that, the one thing that KKR have to avoid is getting an absolute hammering. We saw that from Punjab in the net run rate. It just drops so much when you get a real beating. So they've just got to make sure they get as close as possible. Even if they lose, just make sure you get 160, 170, 180 if you possibly can, because that net run rate, in a few weeks' time is going to be so crucial for those qualifiers. I know that sounds a little bit negative, but that's the way I would think about it. Go for the win, of course, but do not allow your team to get absolutely hammered, because that net run rate will get a real beating.
Whenever you say Kolkata and net run rate in the same sentence, their fans just reach out for the bottle, right? Just straight from the bottle. It's too much pain in what he is saying. Too much pain. And of course, the last 2 games, you're talking about a proper thrashing. That's exactly what Bangalore's done to Kolkata. What is it, Joy? I think it was 80 odd runs that they lost by, and then they got out for 80 odd or something such, right? So those are the.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He has no idea. He's Joy's reaching for the bottle as we speak. Yes, straight from the bottle. All right, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to have a sip from the bottle. Gentlemen, do you have any predictions at all? Since we got them so wrong in the first one, we were 160, 170. Thought we were being very cute, but we were completely wrong. Any guesses for the power play score while I drink straight from the bottle? Just water.
I'm going to go 38.
38? Just give. What, you really want them to reach for the bottle? Come on.
I'm going 38, I'm afraid.
Okay, 51.
Nice. I'm going to go even bigger. I'm going to go 56. 56. They got to do it. That's the only way that there's a chance. And come on, we want to see one of those. So what's been happening is that we were getting the big run chases and the big scores in Bombay, and then we were getting the low scores and the sluggish games in Chennai. Now we've been getting those slow games in Mumbai, so maybe it's about time to get one of those big uppercut, knockout punch in Chennai. Will we have that or not? Oh, we're going to find out. Of course, we're going to be here at the end of the 10th over with Cricbuzz Combox, take stock of the chase at that point in time. But right now, it's time to say thank you to both Joy and Michael. Thank you so much, gentlemen. We're going to see you at the end of this game and before the next, because there are, of course, 2 games that are being played today. So there's plenty of cricket to talk about. This is all we have time for on Cricbuzz Live. Thanks for watching. Brought you the show in association with our fantasy partner, My 11 Circle.